All right, welcome into week 4 of the Talking Ball Y'all Picayune Preview podcast. This week, we're joined by Jay Beach, head coach of the reigning 4A state champion Poplarville Hornets. Coach, welcome in to the podcast this morning.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Coach, let's just kind of look back on the season. I feel like over a 4-game period, you're about a quarter of the season in. You got a pretty good look at your team and can rate them pretty well at this point. So what are some things that you've liked, some improvement areas you've seen through a 4-game stretch for your team?
Well, I do think we've gotten better every week, so that's a good thing. We started off against West Harrison. They really put it on us. They got after us and whipped us physically, and actually had a lot of new starters this year, and so we kind of figured out some things about ourselves, and we're still learning about ourselves, kind of what we're good at, and what are our strengths, and offensively and defensively. And I think now we're starting to play toward our strengths a little better.
Coach, starting it with the offensive side of it, you got one of those generational type backs with Ty Keys. Last check that I saw, 16 Division I offers. That's every in-state school. You throw in like the likes of Penn State and Oregon, schools like that. Just a really special kid, nearing the 1,000-yard mark already through 4 games, which is just uber impressive in itself. You look at it, Coach, the first 2 games, averaging 5 on the ground. Ty is going to be keyed on a lot, but the last 2 games, and I know we had a big game in there against another quality 7A opponent in Hancock. Offense has averaged about 500 on the ground, so we've seen some production pick up. Do you credit any positions or maybe in particular people that have kind of helped add to take away some of that look that he's getting to add in and contribute more on the offensive side?
I think our offensive line's playing a lot better than they were week 1. Um, we're playing some D linemen actually both ways. Sam Lejeune and Job Lambert kind of share a position on offense, and then we broke in 4 new offensive starters on the O line. Actually, 6 actually when you count the 2 tight ends are brand new, and they've just kind of start off maybe a little slow as far as speed of the game and everything, but I think each week we've blocked a lot better, and hopefully we keep getting better and better, and we figured out what we're good at. What our linemen are good at, and we're focusing on running plays that we're good at, and we didn't really know that at the beginning of the year. And then Ty, obviously Ty, we're going to give it to him a lot. There's no question about it. We're trying not to overuse him. We have other weapons. We have the wing back that's Remy Nikan that gets involved in the game. We run our quarterback a lot. That's been Ian McGee and Track Smith. Like to throw it, to our tight ends and running back. So Ty's got a lot of yards, but he's still averaging under 20 carries a game, I believe, or right at 20 carries a game. And we're trying to spread the ball around, and he's really good as a decoy as well. So everybody's eyes are on him, and then we can get it going the other way. So I think our offense is getting a little bit better each week, and hopefully we'll continue on that path.
And Coach, the game he put up against Hancock a couple of weeks ago, and the number of carries he did it on, I think it was 13 carries. Did we get any checks? I know it's not something that you focus on, but that had to have been close to a state record. Did we see where that fell out, like with the overall rankings of maybe all time?
Yeah, he ended up with 18 carries for 506 yards and 8 touchdowns. The 8 touchdowns is a state record, tied for a state record. The 506 yards rushing puts him in the top 5 all time in the state.
Dang, I mean, I'd like to see who those other 4 people were that was on that list. That's pretty impressive. Coach, you mentioned defense. I know you've got several kids back that had a lot of snaps from last year, but again, looking at the progression of the first 2 games, 3 of the 4 sacks have been in the last 2 games, and then 2 interceptions the last 2 games. What are some things that you guys are seeing that you've liked defensively, and maybe some guys that have really been stepping up the last couple of weeks for the Hornets?
Yeah, we start off the year pretty slow on defense, and our kids know it, and we've talked about it. We do have some talent on defense. We've got some talented players over there, but really weren't playing that great, missing too many tackles, out of position, not really following through with their assignments like they needed to. Um, but through film study and practice, things of that nature, I think we're getting better on that side of the ball as well. Still not where we want to be for sure. Still think we can play to a lot higher level, and our kids and coaches know that. But Friday night against Poplarville Central did a really good job of making progress, playing better, tackling better, and just got to. Sometimes you get the athletes and they want to make plays, and our defense sometimes you're to do your assignment isn't to necessarily make the play; it's to stay in your gap and force the running back to the other side. But maybe if you get a little zealous and want to make a play, you get out of your you don't play assignment football, and that hurts sometimes. So that's what we're working through right now. And like I said, hopefully we can continue getting better on that side of the ball.
And coach, I don't know if I'm showing my age. It's maybe a little bit of both, which I know we're close in age, at the same age, but I remember this little kid on the sideline for you guys for many years. Real short guy, had a Hornet jersey on, ran balls in and out, ran water in and out. And I look up, and he's a junior now. One of your starting linebackers, Mr. Lennox Beach, 6 foot now, 220 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Tom has just got away from us. But how cool is it to coach your son? And has Miss Lauren came up with some no-fly zones in the house where, like, no, we can't talk about football at the dinner table, or just talk a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, it's a fun deal. It's fun. A little bittersweet, sad too that he's getting that old. But yeah, um, after the game on the weekends, he might say, how do you think I played or whatever, and I'll just sit down and watch every play with him, and obviously critique everything he does. So he's a little upset with me on that about that at times, but it's all for love. It's all just trying to get him to play to this highest level, and he has the disadvantage of being at home with coach all weekend. So, uh, he gets the highs and the lows.
Yeah, and I think most people know, it's pretty cool for you. You were a linebacker in college, played on both sides of the ball, heck of a running back, heck of a secondary guy in high school.
I try to tell him that, but he don't believe me.
We'll have to show him some film. I think we come up with some good film of some plays you made back in your day.
Yeah, if I could find a VCR, but
Yeah, that's
I'm
it.
having trouble finding a VCR that works.
Yeah, Clay, I'm gonna let you jump in for Coach Beach.
Coach, you talk about Lennox, man. That's so cool and certainly neat for the family. And then you have Track, who got a start at quarterback last week. Titan. You've got. Let's see, where is he? Oh, Lock Russell. So you've got a bunch of coaches' kids on the team. The IQ, the
Yeah.
football IQ. I could see it just studying film from last week. Track got PRC to jump a few times. That was reminiscent for me calling y'all where Blaze Breerwood had a certain cadence or a certain way. He would always seem like if it was 3rd and 3, it was 50-50 shot. He was maybe going to pull somebody all sides. Just the football IQ with this group, Coach.
Yeah, we do. We do have a lot of coaches' kids, and our center is our offensive coordinator's son, Jackson Moss.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we're all about that age to where our kids are coming on through high school right now, so it's fun for all of us.
The brother made a huge catch for you a year ago, huh, Coach?
He made a huge catch for us. Made a bunch of huge plays for us all year, and yeah, that one will go down in the history books as one of the best ones.
Absolutely. Coach, on the preview pod, and that's been about a month and a half ago, I guess, we talked about the mindset of this team coming off a championship. I know you don't like to lose, but a reset with a loss kind of to get things started. Did that help maybe shift that mentality a little bit?
Oh, definitely, for sure. West Harrison beat us, and then Stone, the second game of the week, came out with a 21-7 lead in the first half. So we forgot about that state championship pretty quick after those, after those 6 quarters, and now it's just playing football.
Coach, the kind of fronts you see, I mean, running the wing tee previously now, I keep calling it a new offense because the stun just hadn't worn off
Yeah,
for me of you switching things up. But the fronts defensively and then this staff that you get to problem solve with, you're familiar with a ton of these guys. How has that process been? And like the numbers in the box, I would think are pretty similar to what you used to see in the wing tee offense.
we may even have more in the box now, just with a too tight set with no wide receivers really. But we're getting, as a coaching staff, we've coached this offense 3 years now, and we're getting better at manipulating things, the way the defense can line up and how they can adjust and things like that. So we're getting better. But with a too tight set, there's only so many things you can do. You got to, uh, which I say that, and every week we might see a little something different. But there's only certain things you can do against a too tight end set, and that's kind of like why we like to stay in it. And hopefully we get good at blocking those fronts that we see.
Coach, we got a chance a couple weeks ago to interview Coach Dubose down at Biloxi. He talked about Cody's belief in what they do. I certainly know you have a ton of belief in what you've built and what y'all are kind of doing there. I've called a ton of your games where it's 3rd and 7, you're willing to run the ball. Of course, the team we're following now has that same mindset. How potent is that in high school football to believe, hey, a 3rd and 7, a 3rd and 10, we're going to use these next 2 plays, and we feel pretty good about moving the sticks.
Yeah, yeah. Picayune is the hardest offense there is to stop. The way they do it and how they do it. They're so good at it, and I don't think anybody else could go do it like them. For whatever reason, I don't know what they got, something magic going on down there or whatever. I don't know, but they're really hard to stop, and unless you just got some dudes, it can be tough. So we know we're gonna be ready. We're gonna be in a war. It's gonna be a fight, and we better man up and be ready for 4 quarters if we want to stay in the game.
You talk about dudes, Coach. I mean, the numbers, like Rick's already laid out. You know me, I'm a max prep guys. One of the first things I did Monday was get in here and really start to look. I mean, this is which you have the big game at Hancock. It's going to look this way, but are there times on Sunday afternoon when y'all are looking at something that Ty's done and been like, oh yeah, that's a little bit? And Austin Bolton, you've had some great backs, Coach, but just popping him on tape, it's some wow moments looking at what he does, huh?
Absolutely, no doubt about it. We could have easily been shut out against West Harris, and if it wasn't for Ty, just some of the plays he made on his own. And then he kind of willed us to victory against Stone a little bit, and then he made runs against Hancock and Pearl River Central that not many other people can do. So we're very thankful to have him on the team, and to have a player like him. Um, but it takes 10 other guys against a good team, against a good defense. It's going to take all 10 everybody else playing their absolute best for us to win big games, and we've done that before.
Coach, when you start looking at this week, and go ahead, Clay, sorry.
No, go ahead, Slick.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking at this week, I always use the term dress rehearsal as you're getting ready for district, and I think it gets lost on the average viewer of a game, the way you schedule, very similar to Coach Stogner. I mean, this is going to be your fourth 7A opponent that you played as a 4A school. And I know that the W's are important, but we've also seen your Poplarville coach teams go 0-4 and go play for a South State championship. So it's about getting ready for district play. But as Clay kind of pointed out, very similar styles. There's not going to be a whole lot of surprises come Friday night with what each other's going to do. What are some things that you're looking for? It's been a few years since Picayune and Poplarville have played, but what are some things you're looking for and some things that popped on film for this team come Friday night?
As far as looking at Picayune, what are some things that pop out?
Yeah.
Well, obviously their offensive line. Um, um, the tackle Mitchell, he pops out. It's hard not to watch him block. The way he blocks is pretty impressive. So if you add that to the mix with what Peking does already, that can make it really tough. They got really good running backs, a good quarterback, and then the other offensive linemen besides him do a great job too. So that kind of pops out when you look. And if you score 40 something on Ocean Springs and close to 30 and on Gulfport, you're playing a good team, a good offensive team. Defensively, against spread teams, maybe they didn't match up great against Ocean Springs on a play or two, but when they play a team like us, when they know how to get in there and battle, they have to do it every day on defense at practice. So we know they're going to be a great defense to go against when you're going against a running style offense.
Sorry, Clay, I cut you off.
No, we were talking about the list for Keys and where he kind of stacked up. Not far down that list was Coach Hayden, Seth coaching my youngin in ninth grade football. I think he had like 425 against Petal back in his heyday at running back for the Blue Devils. But that just leads me the respect between the staffs, Jay, and how fun to get this one back on the schedule and to compete against staffs. I'm assuming, and I think I know this, a pretty good mutual respect between the two groups.
I like a few of them. Okay. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for all those guys. Yep, sure do. They do a great job.
And the way that it sharpens, I know Rick's saying that with the way that it schedules, but the iron sharpens iron. I know, man, like he said, how you've scheduled, and we tell Cody this basically every pregame. I know Baker and his crew certainly love a challenge, and from a broadcaster standpoint, it's always exciting when you look at a schedule and say, man, there's some intrigue each week.
Yeah, I like how our schedule is this year. West Harrison, that's 45 minutes away. Stone, a rival, Hancock, borders our county, Picayune, Pearl River Central. So each game, is really intriguing. Kind of playing somewhat of a rival every week in the preseason play, and then our district's going to be really tough too.
Coach, we can't wait, man. We're super excited.
Yeah, and I always want to say, Jay, for the record, man, how much like Jason, Jeff, and I appreciate you, Jonathan Ray, kind of the chance y'all took on us. I never want to miss that opportunity to thank you again. The Talking Ball, y'all brand, our whole group really owes a debt of gratitude to y'all. So thank you, Jay.
Yeah, I think the feeling's mutual. I think we've really appreciated your guys' coverage. Has been awesome, and I'm just very thankful.
Well, we're certainly appreciative of your time this week. You got a lot going on and trying to get ready for a big game Friday night. And look, man, I mean it goes without saying, not just from us, but I think Pearl River County as a whole. I mean, you got people that you just like and respect because of who they are, and you got some people very hard to pull against. And I think you check both of those boxes. And after this game, come Friday night, we get into district play. It's going to be a lot of people pulling for Poplarville in Pearl River County.
I really appreciate that. Thank you, Ricky.
Thanks, Jay. We appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, Jay.
There you have it, Clay. Chance to catch up with Coach Beach. I know you spent a lot of time with him covering Poplarville program. You and Jason Baker, and him giving you guys a chance. I thought that was cool, a cool moment to bring that up. But man, you look at this, Clay, and this matchup Friday night. This might be the last time either team sees a group that's going to do almost a mirror image of what each other does on offense. How do you see this one playing out?
Man, it's going to be hard to tell. You know, us following Picayune each and every week and being entrenched with them. You pop on the tape of Ocean Springs and prep the week before, and then you pop on Poplarville. It almost doesn't look like the same sport, but they're both incredibly good at what they do, and it kind of shows you high school's a short week. Really, when you're trying to teach a 15, 16, 17-year-old ideas on exactly what you have going on. And so Coach Hayden and his group on that defensive side going to have their work cut out for them, because you heard Coach Beach talk about assignments. The assignments this week are going to be totally different than they were a week before. And so it's going to be a really intriguing matchup.
Clay, looking back, I know we always like to look back a week prior to the opponent. Loss for Picayune, but man, just so many things to take away. And I think having the weekend and a few days to look back and kind of reflect, it's still, to me, the front page is Picayune lost, but the headline to me is the offensive production, which was higher than it has been all year from a Picayune offense that was facing a full box. I think we look at Poplarville from a week ago facing 7, sometimes 8-man boxes themselves. But anything that stood out to you when you looked back at the film last week and kind of had some time to digest the Ocean Springs game?
What a wild game, right, Rick? And you saying that, and I mean, the numbers were there certainly for the Picayune offense. And you factor in, you basically lose a possession because of a really good special teams play and an 85-yard kick return by your special teams, in particular, Mr. Darius Fortenberry. And then you lose additional possessions because of the onside kick game from Ocean Springs. So Picayune really maximized their chances offensively when it comes to yardage. You had a turnover down at the 1 that doesn't allow you to cash that one in from a score, but per play and the yardage side, really Picayune, when it comes to that, the per play hasn't been stopped or really slowed down. That's a really good sign that your offensive line is moving people, that your backs are seeing what they need to see. And I thought Colt was pretty good on Friday night as well with that passing element. He put the ball where it needed to be, and I think that's going to be important, of course, going down the road. So offensively, I didn't think it was a bad outing from Picayune at all. You put up 35 on offense. You pair that with a 7 to that total with the kick return. And that was against what I think is a pretty good defense from Ocean Springs as well. They got a couple stops that they needed and really stole possessions. But that was a doozy of a high school football game on Friday night.
It was, man, and I think if you look back at it on film, I think what a reminder that Coach Hayden's probably going to give his defensive group is finishing tackles. We've now faced several good running backs. They had two dudes for Ocean Springs, a good one in Crosby at Gulfport, and now another kid with Keys who, if you're not finishing the tackle, he can break through those. But I tell you what's interesting, man, and it's preparation, and you got to prepare and execute, but you got less than a 9% chance of getting an onside kick in high school, and Ocean Springs got two. And you look at the low percentage of even completing a 99-yard pass. They hit on that as well. So special teams was really the key in that game. We talk about how special they are, and you got to be sound in all three. But I think that was really the difference in what was, as you said, just a great football game.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Rick. Some missed tackles, even in that opening drive. I think we described that. I believe the Greyhounds ran 3 plays. I think 2 of them could have been pretty minimal gains, but we didn't make the would-be tackle initially. I think that will improve for Picayune. If not, I mean, Keys is listed at 6'2", 205. He's a big, strong kid too. Not just a blazer. I mean, he's a strong guy as well. So it doesn't get any easier to tackle him than it was the guys in gray and blue last week. So this is an interesting matchup there. On the other side, Picayune, like we talked about, their offense and the way that we've been able to move the ball. So it's going to be fun, man. That's a great atmosphere to go on the road and try to win. The Poplarville community certainly going to be out in full force. It's a really cool setting there in Poplarville. So it's a fun road trip. Glad it's on the schedule again.
That's right, man. We're looking forward to it. We can't wait. So you tune in and catch Clay and I on our Mossy Motors of Picayune pregame show. It'll be 6:30. And if you haven't already, please go in and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I want to thank again Jackson Harrelson each week, man, just getting better and better with the video stuff. So we appreciate you tuning in there. And we got Pearl River County covered. You'll have Jason Baker and Rossi Creel and their crew covering the Poplarville game, and Jeff Lossett and Caden Smith will be covering Pearl River Central. So we can't wait, and we'll see you then. So until next time, hope
Love
you
God, love people.
yeah, that's it. Love God, love people.